Hello and welcome back to Wake Up with Dr. Cheryl, Wealth Transformation. I'm Dr. Cheryl. We're in the midst of a very powerful time in our lives. History is in the making. Powerful change is happening all over the planet. What do I mean? Well, all the inequities and lack of integrity are surfacing everywhere on the planet and forcing change emotionally, mentally, physically, and spiritually. To me, this is a very exciting and so positive. The biggest change that is evolving is in our relationships with one another. People are being forced to change from the inside out. I love this because everyone has a chance to really change from the core, the soul. The beginning is really think and feel the unconditional love inside of yourself. Allow yourself to feel this. How do you do this? Well, the first thing is to be aware of what you are saying and thinking to yourself about yourself. What are you saying is negative, bad, or condescending about yourself to yourself? This is where you start to change the words that you think and say out loud. Connie Clark, known as the Joy Doctor, is an internationally acclaimed author of Joy After 50, a woman's guide to passion, purpose, and lasting happiness. She is a licensed psychotherapist in Sausalito, specializing in the psychology of women, the new science of happiness and positive psychology. Connie is the founder of JoyWorks programs, the popular boomer women's blog, joyafter50.com, and Joy After 50 Plus, women's retreats in California and Mexico. Connie is a consultant, speaker, and retreat leader with more than 30 years' experience at the forefront of personal and professional transformation. As a renowned authority on happiness and authentic success, she delivers talks and seminars to professional conferences and women's organizations. Her uniquely inspiring work is reaching a wide audience through her published articles and media appearances. Connie's interview with Quran TV Jan Wall drew enthusiastic response from viewers to her uplifting book, Joy After 50. Her clients include CEOs, entrepreneurs, physicians, artists, authors, grandmothers, and women starting over after the empty nest, the divorce, or other major challenges. Connie's passion after 1993 has been designing unforgettable ceremonies and retreats for the milestones in girls' and women's lives. Walking her talk, Connie is devoted to continually reinventing and re-enchanting her life and career. She says that beyond her advanced degrees and training, swimming with the wild dolphins was the most transformational and valuable classroom experience in her research on joyful living. Having mastered 4 distinct career transitions, Connie loves to midwife clients through significant life passages. She helps her clients trust there's a bright tomorrow and a new birth waiting to happen, that the cloud of confusion is actually pregnant with infinite possibilities. Connie's message is that joy is the doorway to all of life's riches. This is the second part of our 2-part discussion with Connie. Welcome, welcome, welcome. This is a real treat to have you here, especially to share who you are. So since you're following your passion, your purpose with your joy, how do you find where do you find your true wealth in that? I know we've already talked about it, but
Right.
Well, let's dig a little deeper.
Well, all right, where do I find my true wealth? First of all, every morning when I get up, I connect to what I perceive as a higher power, because my own thinking is creative. Yes, it's good, but it can also be limited. And so, or my own idea of what I'm supposed to be doing with my life is, I have my own concepts, but every day I get up, I pray, and then I meditate for about a half an hour. I wish we could have a potion, everybody would drink it, and they'd meditate.
I know it, because it makes all the difference.
It makes all the difference
I've
in
been
the
doing
world.
it for over 20,
Have you?
20 to 23 years I've been doing
Yeah,
it.
and don't
I
you-
don't miss, I hardly ever miss a day. I mean,
you notice it. It's like working
can't.
out. You notice it if you don't.
Yes, yes.
And so for me, it's like, so I sit and I calm my nervous system, and I'm open to insight, to, messages
Yes,
perhaps.
listening.
And then the other thing I do is I go to my place of worship, which is Lake Lagunitas in your town of
beautiful.
Fairfax,
Yes, yes.
California.
Right.
And I went there today. In fact, whenever I am needing guidance, I may be
Yes.
designing a new women's retreat, planning a talk. Today I went to the lake, and what I do is I come into the picnic area where they
Yes.
have the redwoods and the just beautiful grove of trees and the water on the side, and I stop and I close my eyes and I say, please give me guidance on whatever. And today I said, please tell me what you want me to share with Cheryl and her listeners,
bless
her
you.
viewers. And then what I do is I always carry paper and pen, because I let go,
Yeah, yeah.
and about a third of the way around the 45-minute loop, it just starts flowing.
Yeah.
And
And the key is
Yeah.
letting go.
that's
When
the
we
key.
let go, things flow.
Exactly.
And I'm not trying to be a poet,
No,
but it's
not
true.
at all.
It's like letting go of any attachment. Any attachment. Let
Any
them go.
attachment.
It's like when you say, when you love somebody, you let them go, they'll come back.
Right.
If.
Well, and you know what? It also reminds me of this saying, "Thy will, not mine, be done," which I've heard that. And
Yeah.
I'm not a religious person.
Right, but
I take it's spiritual, and so, in fact, when I was on the Jan Wall's show on Cron, talking about my book, I'd never been on TV before, and I'm sitting there looking at the bright lights and waiting to go on, and I'd never been in a TV studio, and it was the darkest morning. I'm sitting there ready to talk about joy after,
Yes.
joy at any age actually, but
Right.
it was the morning after the massacre in Connecticut of those children and teachers. And in between, and the news was just pouring in. I'd prepared for a lively interview with
yeah.
Jan, and I had no idea.
And she's a kick, so you would have.
She's a kick.
Oh my gosh.
And there we were, the news anchor's putting her head down, just in despair in between the takes. And do you know, moments before those bright lights went on, I said, I had no idea how I was going to talk about joy. I thought, and so I
you
actually
probably had to pull it from every fiber source and energy from your body.
where I sourced it was I prayed.
Yeah.
I just, and sometimes, it doesn't matter whether you call it God or this
Spirit,
infinite
divine,
wisdom
whatever.
of the
Yeah,
universe,
yeah, divine
but I
intelligence.
just knew I needed help. And so that's another thing I do is I just turn it over sort of and ask for help. And I did. I said, Great Spirit, God, whatever you want to call it. I said, please, I don't know what to speak through me.
Yeah, that's right.
And that's what happened. And it flowed.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I felt like, so.
And I'm sure you were a blessing to them at that point.
I don't even,
know.
perhaps.
I'm sure you were.
Perhaps.
Because you were there representing that, and you went into that sacred spot,
Right.
that sacred place, and
Right.
I'm sure you said the right thing at the right time.
Well, you know what I really said is what I really believe, and the reason people ask me, you could have specialized in schizophrenia. Why is joy your big topic? And it's just that.
You only live once, for God's sake.
Well-
Let's be happy.
Well, that's true. That's absolutely true. But even maybe more importantly, to flourish and thrive in these increasingly chaotic, stressful times, joy gives us resilience. It's not just fun. Joy is much more about much more than feeling good.
Yeah,
It's really, all the studies show that happy people are more successful in all areas of life.
Yeah.
We're more resilient, and we're going to need to be increasingly in these
Oh,
times.
yeah, totally.
And
That's one of the reasons why I have this show.
I know, and I love your show, and I'm so glad to
Thank
be
you.
here. But happy people, if you think about it, they have more love. They have, and I brought this quote.
Spontaneity
Spontaneity. They
and humor.
They're more effective, productive.
Yes.
We have better memories, and we live longer.
Yeah.
But I had to bring this because
yeah.
at 66, I don't always trust my memory. But this was a quote from a researcher at UC Riverside out of this body of work on positive psychology. And this ties in with your topic about wealth. Happier people show more flexibility and ingenuity in their thinking, are more productive in their jobs, they're better leaders and negotiators, and they earn more money. So, folks, you know.
One word in there that I would add is
Yeah.
adaptable.
Yes.
Being adaptable is important.
Yes.
So with that, I mean, thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
Because this, it isn't just about money. It's looking at wealth in a different perspective. It's looking at, because there's wealth outside. We're living in a wealthy, and I'm not talking monetarily. I'm talking
beauty.
The open space, the
green.
Beautiful, luscious
Yes.
green forestry that we
Right.
have around here, and the water and the ocean, and it's gorgeous here.
It's paradise.
It is. It's paradise. So appreciate it more. I guess that's what I'm saying. But so, do you have conversations with your clients or your friends, family about money? I mean, do you ever really seriously talk about it from a spiritual?
Sure. Sure, because my clients come to me, we live in Marin County, one of the wealthiest counties in
Fifth,
the world.
I believe. I think it's still fifth. It might have changed, but it was fifth for a long time.
And there is so much pressure to keep up. And with the downturn of the economy, I mean, people are coming to me depressed, insomnia, stressed. And, I like to find sources for them, if possible, other than antidepressant medications.
Please, yes.
So money has been a big topic.
Wow.
And
Well, this is timely then.
yeah, in fact, I'm working with a man right now. I'm so blessed to have the clients I do. I'm working with a man right now whose father was very, very clear, that you better be successful and that you are, as a man, you're responsible for bringing in this much income and you take care of your money. Well, he's just about to turn 60. And he's really looking at changing those attitudes that cause so much stress for him.
Well, bless him for wanting to change.
Well, and he's opening. I find that, I have clients of all ages, and some of them have the opening in their 40s, 50s, or 60s, but generally when we get to be about this age, it's just like, oh, wait, this is maybe the big chapter of my life.
I guess the what's the word I want to use? The finality, or there's another word for it.
The final act, the last chapter, whatever.
It's like your 20 years
Yeah.
is like, oh my goodness,
Yes.
I only have 20 more, maybe
Yeah.
30 years to go.
Right.
Anyway, I can't think about that.
But yes, we talk about money and how he's been so focused on and how it's really limiting his joy and his creativity. And he has this adventuresome spirit, which as I'm working with him, I'm helping him to bring it out more.
Yeah.
And so he's looking at, loosening up a little about it and seeing that he has so much wealth in so many areas. I mean, like authentic
And I'm
wealth.
sure you're guiding him right into that place, which is wonderful.
Which is finding...
And see, that's wealthy right there.
That's wealthy.
Right there.
Having fun, playing. These are all things that, are sources of wealth because, remember, again, the research shows if we're all born with, it's an innate capacity to be happy.
Right.
If we learn how.
Look at babies. Well, that's why we need to go back to being our children. My father used to tell me, always keep that child alive inside of you because that's
so
how you
true.
have fun.
And I see that child in you, and that's something...
I'm always ready to be a child.
And there's a real playfulness that I bring into my work with people, both in my private practice, but especially the women's retreats.
Oh, I bet.
Because, there's seriousness. We support and midwife each other to the next step in our life.
That's interesting that you would use, because I think of I had a midwife when I gave birth to my daughter, and it's interesting that you would use that as an analysis or whatever you want to call
Analogy
it.
for-
Analogy
yeah.
for that. I just found it very interesting, but it's true.
Well,
It's
and
true.
when you think of a midwife, what do you think? What's their role? It's
well,
just
they're
like
just guiding you
Exactly.
and being there
and holding the
yes,
space for you.
so you can do it yourself.
Exactly.
Oh,
And-
even though the doctor had to come in at the very end with forceps, with a section and fork, it worked. But
Well, we don't bring that piece into the women's retreat. But I have these, I've led the retreat since '93, but now I have new retreats called Joy After 50 Plus. And I will likely be having one in the fall at the wonderful Westerbeck Ranch in Sonoma. And people can contact me about that. But what I mean about midwife, there's something magical and powerful
Yes.
that is born.
it's a gift. It's an honor.
In each woman, as we, there's something about women connecting with other women. And especially I found when I led the retreat last spring, you get a group of women 50, 60, 70 and better in a room for a weekend. We played, we laughed, we cried, we celebrated. It's
all the depth of emotion, mental,
Right.
spiritual. I mean,
Right.
that's what it's all about.
Yes.
And I would love to see men get more involved in that.
Some men are. Men are doing
They
that.
are. They are. And
Yes.
it's like, come on, guys.
I agree.
You know?
What I really believe is that there's the divine feminine and masculine in each of us.
Yes,
and right
absolutely.
now, we're being called forth
The male.
to balance both. That I think what we really need is a rebirth of the feminine principles of love.
Well,
and-
yes, and men
kindness.
need to. Well, this is exactly what you're saying, and this is what I brought a couple men on, one in particular that we talked about this because
Right.
he tries to help enlighten men about women, and also the men need to be enlightened around their feminine side, just
Yes.
like the women today. I mean, women are emerging like wildfire right now in the globe.
Yes.
That they're igniting their male capacity, which I was raised with. I was raised because I spent most of my time with my dad. I didn't spend a whole lot of time with my mom.
So you were comfortable with
So
that.
I'm comfortable with
Masculine.
men.
Yeah.
I am totally. I can talk equally with them
Yeah.
with no problem,
Yeah.
and I love it. I usually work with men,
Yeah.
but it's like I love seeing this change.
We both, men and women, we need a balance of both.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes. There's feminine than we think of in the society, and then the feminine principles. When I was about 40, I had a dream because I was very masculine. I was in sales and marketing. I loved
yeah.
competing with the men. The feminine looked. I've had a huge, as you can tell,
Shift,
transfer.
yeah.
But it started with a dream, a brief dream, and somebody whispered into my ear, "You have no idea what it means to be a woman." And I woke.
She said that to you.
I woke up.
Oh my goodness.
And that began my developing a specialization in the psychology of women
Wow.
and all the women's empowerment
wow, that
work.
was a wake-up call.
And now I love being a woman.
Oh yeah. I
mean,
wouldn't want to change it.
I'm so
I mean, I
glad.
just say I love being me because I embrace. I mean, I'm Miss Fix It. I can fix things mechanically, and I don't have a problem with it. I used to work on my own car.
Come on over to my place, will you?
No, now I'm not so crazy about it. I can let
Right.
somebody else do it. But I
Right.
mean, and I guess that was because I was close to my dad, so he taught me how to, you take care of your car, it'll take care of you. And I guess I took him literally. Anyway, I don't like getting my hands greasy.
Yeah. But the quality of joy and learning how, the simple practices to activate that innate sense of joy is really helpful for men and women.
Of course.
To bring in those divine feminine principles that we need. We live in a patriarchy, we've been identified with achievement and linear thinking and there's all the delight and the fertility and the creativity that comes and the love and nurturing that comes with the feminine. And I see that you've really balanced it out in your life now because you really embody that.
Well, and having been a single mother I was 3 months pregnant when I became a single mother, basically.
Oh, wow.
So I've done it all on my own with no help from family or my former husband. But, you know, it forced me to become more masculine on some level because I didn't like being the disciplinarian. But it forced me to. I didn't have a choice. I didn't have a partner that would do it for me.
So you were a good father and mother.
Well, that's what my daughter says, but, you know, I didn't necessarily like it.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it forced me. It forced me to do it, but I did it because I was committed to being a full parent, even though the father wasn't there. You know, I mean, I was committed to being a good parent. Well, it wasn't easy. I mean, my daughter's not talking to me right now, but she's only 22.
That's why. She'll talk to you when she's 25 or 30.
You know, like, okay, release and let go, let go, let go.
You know, I don't know if this will help, but I went through a stage when I really was angry at my mother, and I needed to separate out, but you know, unfortunately, she died at 53 before I ever had a chance to really, I mean, we were friendly and close on some level, but you know, sometimes girls need to separate out a little.
That's okay. I honor that.
Yeah. And
I still send her messages, and, you know, but I just let her, she's got to do her own thing.
She's got to find her way.
Yeah.
She's got to find her way.
So what do you think the best suggestions are for the audience and the viewers about using spiritual application, or whatever your interpretation of that is, around wealth?
I guess I've said it.
Yeah, you have.
Say it. Well, there are a couple things. I just want to say again, truly, just, you know, from what the scientific research is showing, it legitimizes that joy and learning how and making time to play. Go on picnics, go for a walk, find time to retreat into nature, just even for an hour. So make time for joy is my motto.
Yes.
But then I would also say, I always say to all my clients, who are you? I ask them, know who are you authentically? Yes. Find out what is your true nature. You know, so many times when we're growing up, we try to be a square peg in a round hole, and because we're trying to get approval. But, you know, when you find, like you and I have, the blessing of having found our true nature and to find work out of that, the money will follow.
Yes.
So it's who are you? What do you love? What do you love to do that comes naturally? It's an innate gift, most likely.
Yes.
And then how can you serve? Who are you? What do you love? How can you serve? And I just feel so blessed to be a place in my life where my work, and I know yours too, is like, it's just like breathing.
Yes.
My greatest wish for all the viewers and everybody I work with, and
it's like living a dream.
It is. Because it's with ease.
Yes, it's natural, it's innate, yes.
And you know, also just to really, you know, another thing is find people who know how to do this process, who have shown that they know how to find the courage and to live in alignment with who they really are. Yes. Find mentors. I've worked with many coaches and mentors. And that has really helped me a lot, because on our own, left to my own devices.
Yeah, well, all of us.
Yeah. So, definitely. You know, I think that's but make time for joy is my bottom line piece of advice.
And that's wonderful.
Yeah.
That's wonderful, absolutely. Oh my gosh, we only have a few moments left. This has gone very fast, rapidly. Is there anything else that you want to share? Share your story about the dolphins, please.
Oh. Dolphins are ambassadors of joy. Yes, there is nothing like being, I'll never forget my first experience swimming with wild, and I mean wild, not in a hotel, where we were out in this big, huge Kealakekua Bay on the Big Island, and the dolphins came and swam, and we were taught they come and invite you to come in the water. Swam in a circle around us, and we went diving in. That was our signal. It was like being in the presence of an enlightened being. People write about this forever.
Well, they say that dolphins are like the evolution, you know, of human beings. I mean, we're the evolution from them.
Well, you know, in their presence, fear goes away, because there's this emanation of joy that comes out. I mean, people cry in their masks. And I'll never forget, once you've been seen by a dolphin, I'll never forget, a dolphin swam by me, many of them did, but this big eye looked at me. And, you know, dolphins are, I have this little seminar I do on lessons from dolphins. They play, they're compassionate, they live in community.
And they protect.
They protect one another.
And they protect humans.
They protect one another. They protect humans. They know in the water if somebody's ill, and they'll go to that person. And they're just, but more than anything else, that's, I think, was the initial experience I had, which opened me to a greater dimension of joy. And that was one of the stepping stones to my knowing this was my life's work.
Oh, wow.
But I would wish for everyone that they have, don't go to the hotels. Kealakekua Bay, you know, be respectful, let the dolphins come to you. Yeah. But we have a lot to learn from nature and the animal
absolutely.
kingdom.
If we could just sit in nature and just observe it and watch it, and we need to do the same thing.
Exactly.
And we would be there would be so many diseases that would go away.
That's true.
If we would just embrace that.
Well, it improves our immune system. I mean, do you know there's something called nature deficit disorder?
Oh, God.
And so we have, I mean, living here, we have no.
Oh, no.
Even in New York City, you go to Central Park, wherever.
Yeah.
Just find experiences in
to
nature.
commune with nature.
Yes.
Oh, my goodness. This has been wonderful, Connie. I'm so happy that you came.
Thank you, Cheryl.
And I'm sure we could probably do a whole nother show.
I think we could. Thank you. And I am so grateful for the invitation to be with, to know you, to know your work, and to be a part of this incredible show that you're doing.
And right back to you as
Thank
far
you
as the
so
work
much.
that you're doing. And I'll leave you with this. Success isn't measured by money or power or social rank. Success is measured by your discipline and your inner peace, by Mike Ditka. Wall Street is the only place that people ride in a Rolls Royce to get advice from those who take the subway. And that's from Warren Buffett. A public opinion poll is no substitute for thought, by Warren Buffett. Never give up on your pursuit of your purpose and passion, even if you don't know what that is. Work with integrity and have a positive attitude wherever you work, and especially with your family and friends. Be grateful for what you have, who you are, and be grateful for your freedom. And eat healthy. Good nutrition feeds the mind and the body, your body temple. Don't forget to feed your spirituality with unconditional love. And firstly, love yourself unconditionally and share your abundance and wealth with others. Thanks for watching. And please and thank you for supporting Marin TV, as they are the ones that bring you all these shows on these channels. Bye for now. Until next time.